Hey everyone, welcome to Encore, and today we're going to talk about the different finishes of MAC eyeshadows. Hey everyone, welcome back. So MAC has different finishes to their eyeshadows, and much like their lipsticks, they will look different once you see them in person. So it can look different from the pictures on their website, or perhaps, any of the color theories, or, the upcoming collection that are coming out, you see a picture and it looks bright and vivid and colorful. And then, you'll be disappointed, to find out that the texture is different. A lot of people, doesn't quite pay attention to the finish that it does, because that will make a difference once you swatch or apply the, the makeup on. So hopefully this video I can point out, the differences between the different textures and finishes, and hopefully help out those of you out there who's just now starting with makeup, so that way you would know the differences as far as what it would look like when you apply it on. So let's begin with matte. Now I'm going to display colors of brown because a lot of people like browns, whether neutral color wearers or just your day-to-day look or everyday look or work look. So I think to just kind of show quite the differences on these finishes, I've chosen the color brown. So I'm going to start with matte. Now matte, just like the lipsticks, it's basically that, okay? No shimmers, no shine, no iridescent, no pearlescent, no glitters whatsoever. It's matte, plain matte. Alright, and then there's also matte squared, which falls under matte, but if you look at the MAC website, they have their own category. It's matte squared. But matte is matte, and the color I'm going to show you is espresso. Espresso is a matte color. And I'm going to swatch espresso right in my hand, so that way I can show you guys what a matte finish would be. Now matte is probably the finish that's going to give you the most color. Okay, it's going to be the most intense, the most vivid, and it's going to give you the best color payoff. Okay, and that's matte right there. So no shine, no glitters, no shimmers, no iridescent, no pearlescent. Okay, and again, this is espresso. Now espresso is great pretty much all over color. It's a great eyeliner color, if you use a little bit of mixing medium. It's a great brow filler if you have brown hair, or kind of like a medium hair like I do. This is great for filling in brows, and it's a great crease color, and I like it. I like espresso a lot because it's got multi-use. So for those of you guys who's thinking of expanding your makeup kit, definitely include espresso in your list. So once again, that's espresso right there. Okay, so moving on, our next finish is the satin finish. Now satin finish gives you a good color payoff, but it's got that satin shine to it, okay? And if you read the description in the MAC website, it'll say, what else does it say? It provides soft, subtle, non-frost, light refractive sheen. So it's going to give you a little sheen to it. Now the color I'm going to show you is called Brune. Okay, and it's just like espresso, but again, the difference is in the finish. Now Brune is a satin, so it's going to give us a little bit of that shine. So I'm going to swatch that right next to our espresso. Now I don't know if my camera is going to pick up the shine, but hopefully it will. So that way you guys can see the difference. Okay, so far it looks really shiny on my hand, so see that shine right there compared to the matte? Okay, so that's a satin finish. Okay, so it gives you an intense color payoff, but it gives you that shine or that sheen. So because it's light refractive, so therefore it's going to give you that shine. Now it's not like pearlescent or iridescent or anything, it just have that satin shine to it. Okay, so that's the difference between the matte and the satin. Okay, so our next finish is called Frost. Now Frost have that iridescent pearlescent effect to it, which gives it that frost look, okay? And it gives a certain kind of like a highlighting quality to the color, so therefore it gives a little bit of dimension. Now a lot of mature skin are a little bit hesitant about picking a frost color because, you know, a lot of people think that it amplifies, you know, fine lines and wrinkles and whatnot. But if you use, you know, a brush in applying it, you will actually get into those fine lines and wrinkles, so that way it doesn't amplify it. So if you just use like a, you know, like a sponge applicator, or you know, some people use their fingers in applying their eyeshadow, then yeah, it's going to definitely amplify the lines because it's not getting into those fine lines, all right, and wrinkles. And I'm going to show you a frost color. Now this is Patina. Okay, and it's kind of like a brownish gold color, but it's really, really iridescent, pearlescent, and really, really frosty. So I'm going to swatch that right next to our Satin. And Patina, unfortunately, is almost like my skin color, but hopefully it'll still stand out so you can see the pearlescent effect and the iridescence. Oh yeah, I should be able to see that. Alright. Just add a little bit more so that way you can see it. Alright, and there it is. So that's Patina, and as you can see, it's iridescent. It almost have that pearlescent effect, and compare that to the Satin, which is just that, you know, satin sheen to it. It's definitely a lot more frosty. Alright. Okay, so moving on to our next finish, which is Lustre. Okay, Lustre is probably the most pearlized, or the most pearlescent, iridescent finish of all the MAC eyeshadows. Now it almost look like pressed glitters is what they are. It's very, very highly textured as far as the frost is concerned. It's intensely frosted is what it is. And so if you see any eyeshadow that almost looks like, you know, it's like pressed glitters, then most likely it's going to be a Lustre finish. Okay, so I'm going to show you a Lustre eyeshadow, and this one's called Tempting. Alright, as you can see right in the pan, it's almost like gold glitters. Alright, then I'm going to swatch that right next to the Frost, which is Patina, so that way you guys can see the difference. I'm running out of skin. We're going to try to fit all of these if we can. Alright. Let's add that a little bit more. Actually, this is darker than Patina. It's kind of like that reddish gold look to it. Alright. And there you go. So this is Tempting. Get that closer so you can see it's really, really, you know, a lot more frosty looking than this one. And it's almost like it's got miniature glitters, you know, embedded into the color. Okay, so if I pull it back a little bit, you can see it's almost glittery, alright, as opposed to frosty, like the Frost finish, and then the Satin sheen, of course matte, flat, but great color intensity. I personally love matte the most. I would use matte on anyone, on any occasion, anywhere. Okay, so that's Tempting, and it's a Lustre finish.